Okay, we are live.
Oh.
Welcome to the Cosplay Confederation. Hi, William. I hope you're watching. This episode is sponsored by the Brittany Insurance Company. Thank you, Brittany. We love you. My name's the guy of cosplay, coming to you as Scream this time, or Ghostface. It depends. What do you want to call me? You want to call me the movie? You want to call me Ghostface? I don't care. I'll let you turn it away.
I had a joke with that, but I don't want to say the joke.
I was not prepared for that.
I was not even.
All right, so let's start off with the two holding the live currently. That'd be you two.
I can't guess into them too.
Start with you. Explain your stuff. Explain your podcast, your other podcast. Do what you need to do.
Yeah. Well, you might recognize a couple faces and a couple voices in this podcast.
Maybe a couple.
That's John and me coming to you from Two Captains, One Pod, now here on the Cosplay Confederation podcast.
And you might recognize me from TikTok at Sleepy Shadow Cosplays, or on Instagram at the same handle, sleepy_shadow_cosplays. Or you might recognize. Take it away, Flicka.
You met on TikTok as Flicka Erickson. I don't really post my face much because, well, yeah, just don't know how to yet.
You guys probably recognize me off of TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm Taylor Cosplays. I mostly cosplay different ones, different movies and TV shows. But today I'm doing Memon because I'm prepped and going for Katsu next February.
I am currently cosplaying Aizawa from My Hero Academia. And yes, I have coffee to go along with it.
And I'm currently cosplaying Tegan Uzui from Demon Slayer.
With that being said, let's get started. This is our first episode, so it's a little more rocky and rough this time around, just because we're still learning the grasp of what our podcast is going to look like.
Mostly we're going to be here talking about cosplay, how you can get into it, the fun sides of it, the downsides of it. The cosplay is consent, and cosplay is not consent. Yeah, there's a difference.
Amen.
And we'll teach you
Amen to that.
We're also going to talk about stories and experiences we've had. We'll give advice along the way, and if we end up getting a bunch of, I'm sorry, my English is not working today. When we do end up getting followers, if they have any questions, they're more than welcome to email us or put it down in the conversation, and we can answer those questions on the following episode. Is that about right?
And for those of you wondering, we will have a TikTok, an Instagram, and YouTube very shortly. But as for now, follow us here on the Captain Hudson YouTube page, or any of our various social medias that we will have listed in the description of this YouTube page once this video is officially posted.
Excuse me. All right, with that being said.
I was going to go ahead and, I could start. I've got a convention this weekend, and I'm really excited for it. I'll be pulling off two of my favorite cosplays. I love to blend things when it comes to cosplay, because cosplay is such an open community. You can do so much with it. Yes. And so I blend certain loves. I'm a firefighter EMT. I love Jurassic Park. I am now the one and only Jurassic Park paramedic. That is one of my cosplays. But the two that I'll be pulling off this time are a hockey player, Flash. Flash, the DC superhero, dressed as a hockey player, and Top Blaster Wedge Annalise. Why Top Blaster? Well, it's a mix of Top Gun and Star Wars. I have the suit set up looking like an actual U.S. Navy fighter pilot outfit, but in the Star Wars colors, with a bunch of random patches all around it. That's really cool. And that is those are going to be my cosplays for this weekend at Retro Expo. So if you're in the Texas area, go on to Retro Expo this weekend. I'll see you there. Come say hi.
Yeah, for me right now is I am prepping for KatsuCon that's coming in February at Washington, D.C. I don't remember the con location. I do not have that off the top of my brain. But as you see, I'm actually doing Mammon from Hell of a Boss, Husker from Hazman Hotel, and then I'm doing Edward Kenway from the Assassin's Creed Black Flag game. Because
Ooh.
1, I want to be warm. 2, it's going to be cold. 3, it's kind of easy to change in and out on the last day. So I think that'll be best. But normally that would actually be my first con I would ever attend as someone just walking through, because the last con I was at was Rose City Comic Con. I'm a scare actor with Scaregrounds PDX in Portland, Oregon, so I normally was at their booth doing either makeup stuff, saying hi to people, wanting to get into the act, or 2, even wanting to see the haunts itself in the upcoming season. So I'm just like, this is just a rough cut of Mammon right now, and I literally just made the hat yesterday. I just need to add bells and stuff like that, but this took like 2 hours to do because I did not know how I wanted to put it together.
I think the next convention I'm working towards right now is Matsuri Con. I'm currently working on, well, I have Aizawa finished. I am working on creating Ace from One Piece. I'm going to be doing a photo shoot day 1 with Ace, and then I'm going to be doing a meetup with a couple of friends in Charlie for day 2. I have about a midday switch into Aizawa because he's very comfortable. It's not very hot. I have this blanket right back here actually because it's really hot in my room and I don't want to have that on me. And then if I go the 3rd day, long enough to actually go to the convention, not just the very entail of it, I'll be doing a Zenitsu in PJs.
Oh. I'm getting ready for the Salt Lake FanX convention in Salt Lake, of course, Maine. I am going as, well, if I get to go the day I want, I'm going as Tegan to meet the voice actor of Tegan Uzui and Zenitsu, obviously. But I'm also excited because I'll get to meet the cast of Hell of a Boss, like Brandon Rogers. I want to, yeah. I get rambling if I get going. I want to meet Brandon Rogers for the fact I want to ask him, yell at me with the Blitzo voice. Say anything you want, as rude as possible. Just for the fact it'd be funny.
I want his autograph so bad.
His voice is naturally Blitzo. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, yell at me.
He actually said that in a during when he was at a convention, when he was sitting down with the cast of Hell of a Boss, and they asked him how each of them do their voices, and he said, "Well, actually, I just drop it down, just the smallest amount, and I'm already there." So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I saw a YouTube video of that.
That's where I saw it. I saw it on TikTok.
And then just the voice actors, just knowing how everybody does it. Well, see, I as a former firefighter, look, I get kind of claustrophobic in masks, so I don't wear them that often. Most of my mask cosplays, I just don't do. Like I put the mask on long enough to do like a video or 2 up on TikTok, and then that's about it. Yeah, it's a problem. John understands this. He's a former first responder himself, so you know.
Oh, I
the
get it.
claustrophobia of the
I do.
fucking mask is real shit.
All right, so
let's see.
You know,
my next convention, since I'm unable to make it to Shreveport, my next convention will also be FanX in Salt Lake.
Maybe guys can
where I will be appearing in my captain's uniform instead of my medical officer uniform. And I will also be appearing as a ODST from Halo.
Nice.
And if you guys want to check out the captain's uniform, come back to this YouTube channel tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we'll be live for 2 Captains, 1 Pod.
It's like this, just red.
Tomorrow for that. Yeah, it's just like that, but red. I'll be wearing my Wrath of Khan era bomber jacket tomorrow, so I'll actually be in uniform for that one. I'm gonna have the room cold enough to fucking sustain it.
reality, like growing up, I never really. I grew up with both Star Trek and Star Wars, but both my parents are Star Wars fans. I love either one. It's just I never really got into the lore of Star Trek growing up, so I was like,
Honestly, where the breakdown comes as a fan of both, as a legit fan of both, where the breakdown comes is Star Trek is more geared for those that love legitimate science.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, sure.
it's sci-fi,
nerds.
but it's like it's the science fiction in Star Trek has become real. We've talked about this on the Two Captains One podcast that there's a lot of things that people use every day. They have no idea. The engineering and the want to build something like it came from Star Trek, that it is a Star Trek device, such as your cell phones, your tablets, your smartphones, medical devices. I mean, it ranges all the way up to like some stuff that the military is still trying to wrap their heads around and build currently. Such as a transporter beam or a phaser small enough to fit in your hand. That won't break the Geneva Convention laws. But Star Wars, however, is more for the science fantasy people. It's where you can just immerse yourself in this world and get lost in something that is totally outside of reality. Star Trek is very based in reality. If you look at the underlying tones of a Star Trek episode, it's very much what is going on in the world per the time that show came out or the movie came out. I mean,
it is very much
one of my
social
favorite
commentary.
examples. Yeah, one of my favorite examples of that is Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country is legitimately about the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Chernobyl disaster that caused, more or less, or start that process, I should say. But Star Wars is just fun. It's just speed, the speeder flying cars and laser swords that can cut through fucking anything and blaster rifles and just
And the
good
guy has the blue
space
laser
cowboy
sword,
bullshit.
and the bad guy has the red laser.
Yeah, it's. I'm a fan of both. I won't diss on either one, and comparing them is like trying to compare an apple and to an orange. You can't fucking do it. In true fashion, you can't do it. You can't say which one's better because they're in so separate fields of the sci-fi genre. But yeah, I mean, I fucking love Star Wars. One of the, like I said, one of the people I'm meeting at on Friday or Saturday is Ray Park, the guy who was Darth Maul in A Phantom Menace, and I'm super fucking excited about that. I've got like a 12-inch figure I'm getting signed. It's still in the box. Picked that up at First Monday, which for those of you that don't know what First Monday is, here in the state of Texas, in Canton specifically, we have what is essentially a giant flea market meets a giant garage sale. They had a baby, and that is First Monday. You can you can find anything and everything out there.
It's also like a Goodwill, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I came to Texas for the first time, and I'm from Salem, Oregon. So the first time ever in Texas, humidity, respectfully. But the fact that I went to the First Monday just to find spurs for my scare acting costume, that way I could attach it to my boots, and they had those there. I was just like, okay, made it through TSA, surprisingly.
I would like to ask you
through TSA.
The Spurs.
Went through TSA.
Oh.
But see, and I told Taylor, I said, you can find anything here. And so he was asking about the Spurs. He was asking about the Spurs. And I said, oh, we'll find some. How long did it take? How long were we there before we found Spurs?
I think before we even went to the front, like we went all the way goddamn around into like, I think 3/4. We were walking. We were there for what, an hour, 2 hours?
An hour and a half we were there, but we found them within 20 minutes. We found them
within like 20, 30 minutes. But also it was like 100 degrees outside, pure humid. Me and Chris were both wearing pants. I was wearing my Chelsea boots because I thought we were going to be able to film afterwards, but nah, we crashed. We crashed and burned after that. We were tired after that.
But then again, I'm used to wearing pants in the Texas weather because I'm from here. So you know, but
All right, class, can I send you on a mission to this thing then?
I mean,
I've been trying to find a Corazon One Piece figure.
I'm sure I can find it. Like I said, I mean, most of the Star Trek figures that I've gotten over the years, like matter of fact, 2 that I've got right up here on my dresser as display, I found there at the I found there my John, you remember I showed you last week my runabout, my runabout toy that I got. I got that from there, along with the Dr. McCoy from the first episode of Star Trek Next Generation. You can find, like I said, you can find fucking anything. There are people there that sell, you know, they have their own businesses and that's how they make their money. You have people there that are just trying to clear out, you know, they're someone in their family passed away, they got all their shit and they're trying to get rid of it because they have no love for it, want to make some money off of it, whatever. Or they're just trying to spring clean their fucking house and they're getting rid of it. And it happens, for those of you that are wondering, it's called First Monday because it happens the weekend of the first Monday of the month. So if the month starts on a Monday, like say next month, August 1st is a Monday, it's not. But if it was a Monday, July 30th and 31st, First Monday will be open. And you can go there.
If you find a Corazon figure for under $50 or less, buy it.
Guaranteed I could.
Huh?
Guaranteed I could.
For under 50.
Guaranteed.
For under 50, keyword there, because I've been looking for Corazon figures, and the only one I could find for under 50 was ugly in a knockoff.
Yeah, I tried to find black camo pants, black like military camo pants for my Call of Duty cosplay that I have, and I'm just like, I can't wear jeans anymore. And plus, I'm gonna try to get some actual ninja boots for him because I think
the reason why is Corazon is my favorite character from One Piece besides Katakuri. So I would melt for either of those figures. I'd be so happy if you could find either of them. But there is so little Corazon merch made because he was killed off after being shown in 5 episodes.
You say under 50, and I'm sure I could do this. Okay, because this figure right here, this is the one I'm getting signed on Saturday. This figure right here, in the condition it's in, as a $50 figure. This right here is $30. This one's really cool. It's the Black Series. It looks like the VHS tape for Phantom Menace, but it's Darth Maul. Okay, that's a $30 figure. This is a $15 Jar Jar figure, and it doesn't have all of its pieces still in the condition it's in, 15. And I've got a little Mando figure, which he's worth fucking $40, this type that I got for him. That entire lot I bought from the same dude, all for $55, because he was just ready to go home. He was ready to get rid of this stuff, make a buck off of it, and go home. There are people out there that are willing to make a deal for you. We found a castle, a princess castle for my daughter. We're getting her for her birthday. That we got for her birthday. This castle is worth $130. We got it for I think $40.
If you find stuff and you buy it, I will PayPal you the amount you spent on that and shipping if you send it to me.
Unnecessary. I do shit for my friends just for the fun of it.
I'll still pay you the price you pay, though.
But, you know, again, yeah, First Monday's a great place. If you're a cosplayer in the state of Texas and you're looking for a great place to pick up fabrics, pick up some costumes, pick up some pieces, props, whatever you want, go to First Monday. You're going to find a deal. You're going to get some good shit. Other sites, though, that I like to use, if you're an inspiring cosplayer or you are a cosplayer already, you're deep into it, but you're trying to find a new fucking site because you're tired of paying high prices for a bunch of shit, Sim Cosplay. I know you've probably heard of them before. Sim Cosplay, it takes a while to get your shit. I'm not going to lie. It takes a while to get your shit. But when they do it for you, it's quality. You know what you're paying for. The pictures, what you want to buy, the picture on the website is exactly what you're going to get in it. If you buy one of the screen printed suits, you're going to get a screen printed suit. But if you spend the money to get an actual, suit, that looks more towards what they wore in the movie or the show, whatever it is, you're gonna get what you're seeing in that picture, and it's phenomenal. I love Sim cosplay. I've used them for a lot of mine over the years. If you're Star Trek, John will tell you his favorite one. He got me in on them. Cosermart.com, perfect for a Star Trek cosplayer. You want to get into it, or even if you're not into Star Trek but you want to get a nice looking uniform, go to Cosermart. We got some nice uniforms over in Starfleet. We got some of the best uniforms you'll ever fucking see.
And the one I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Or pretty
Yeah.
much all
That's
of them
just-
that I wear
God.
have come from Cosermart.
Yeah.
If you need advice on how to build cosplays, check out Tiramisu Cosplay on TikTok, Instagram,
Yes.
Discord. She is an amazing person. She actually has workshops she posts on TikTok and Discord. Sorry, had to think for a second on the name there. Where she does a live and walks you through the cosplay she's working on. Or if you have questions, she has stated multiple times on her lives, you can always DM her. She might not respond right away. She's not very good about responding right away. But that's because ADHD and stuff like that. We all got it. Every cosplayer's got ADHD of some form.
One of the favorite materials that you'll hear people working with. If you're a newbie cosplayer out there, listen up. If you want a badass looking suit, but you don't want the weight of it, the material you're going to hear a lot is EVA foam. Learn how to use it. Learn how to mess with it. It will be your best friend. It'll be your worst enemy. Trust me. I'm still learning EVA myself. But it is a great addition to knowing. Learn how to sew.
Also,
Learn how to sew and learn how to take measurements of yourself, because that's important too.
another big thing that helps, Got2b glue, hairspray, gel, all of that stuff. Make sure you wash your wigs for the love. If you're gonna style your wigs, make sure you wash them. I had to learn this through my friends who are older cosplayers. I had to learn from their mistakes. If you don't wash your wigs, it doesn't hold the styling very well. I have a perfect
That
example. My
I was gonna
cherry
say
bomb
that.
wig.
Yeah, a great thing to wash your wigs in. And it's gonna sound really weird.
Laundry detergent.
Laundry
Fabric
detergent.
softener. Or
Get
fabric
you some laundry
softener.
detergent. Yep, laundry detergent, fabric
Only do it
softener.
once. Only do it once
Yeah.
because the more you do it, the drier your wig is gonna get. What it does is
Mhm.
like when you first get a wig, it has that really plasticky feel on the top of it that creates a silky smooth. That is some finished coating they put on there, and washing it in that type of stuff rinses that off.
Also, if
This
you're a
one,
cosplayer and you like say, I started out, I only did cossack cosplays. Like I'd use materials from like outfits I have in my own drawers or hung up for my cosplays. Like I went as Manritas. I had my motorcycle boots, denim jeans. It was hot, but it was worth it. Leather jacket, leather vest. Sorry, correction, and a black shirt that was underneath it. You can cosplay with anything, any material you need.
Probably the
It-
easiest
you-
cosplay you can put together just from your closet is any of the Winchesters from Supernatural. Honestly, that's probably
and
the
for those of you,
easiest.
yeah, and for those of you that are coming up and you hear cosplayers say closet cosplay isn't cosplay, don't listen
That's a
to
lie.
them. They're idiots. Closet cosplay is how every single one of us gets into it. I don't want to hear anybody tell me anything less. I know everybody in here started out with a closet cosplay, and I want to know what it is. My first closet cosplay was a Central City Police Department detective. I just threw on some slacks that I had, a button-up shirt, and I threw on the badge, and there I was. I was a police detective for Central City, and that was my first closet cosplay. And then I had a closet cosplay of Captain America because I couldn't afford the I bought the shield first, and I couldn't afford the costume at first. So I went to an Army Navy store, grabbed me some old BDU pants, a military style shirt that just said Army on it, tucked the shirt into the pants, got the combat boots, held the shield, and there I was Captain America. And people love that type of shit. You could get away with a lot with a closet cosplay because people just love to see you guys having fun. That's what it really is. Go to conventions. We love to see cosplayers having fun. If you're new, if you're old, if you know, one of my favorite, one of my best friends in the Texas area. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. He was cosplaying well into his 80s, and when he got to a certain point in his life, he switched from doing all these other cosplays that he did. Like, he still did a few of them, but his favorite one, you could always count on seeing it at a con, was Alfred Pennyworth carrying the red phone on a silver tray around to the conventions, going up to every Batman he saw to have them answer the red phone. It was fucking awesome.
I
I
love
missed
that.
him. I miss him to death. May he rest in peace. And this is going to bring me to the next point. For those of you that have masks, especially the latex kind, get you something you can put it on. Okay. And that can range for a multitude of different things. I have cylinder tubes that I've bought, some posters in, and I'll keep the tube and put a mask on it. That way, it just kind of keeps its shape. This one is triangular, but it fits my Batman mask just perfectly. It keeps the shape very well and doesn't let the latex, crust and fold and bend in different areas in ways that it shouldn't. That is a very big problem that you're going to run into if you just throw the mask on the ground. I've run into a lot of problems that way. I had a Star Trek, the original series Gorn mask that I just kind of left in a box, and it has severely misshapen. I'm going to have to buy me a new one if I ever want it to look good again, because there's no fixing what I did to that one. So get you something to put your masks on. It's going to help you in the long run.
For me, my first cosplay was Sebastian from Black Butler. What I
Oh my
did,
God.
actually, no, that wasn't a cosplay. My first cosplay was actually thinking about it, it was Aizawa. All I did was I grabbed a black shirt from my closet and a black pair of ripped skinny jeans. I wore a pair of black combat boots, and I had a wig. Actually, it was this wig. This is the same wig from back then. And I had gotten a 3-yard fabric of just yellow neon fabric. And that was my cosplay. From there, I'm trying to remember. I've done so many different cosplays. I can't remember the order they came in. But my biggest, I'm going to tell you all right now. The biggest thing I had to learn myself was cosplay. It doesn't matter your size, your body type, your skin, your age to a degree. If you are a consenting adult, I guess I should phrase it, because there are cosplays that should not be on minors, but
Yes.
even minors can cosplay. There are certain cosplays that they shouldn't be doing, like from 18+ shows, because one, it's an 18+ show, and two, there are unfortunately some creepy people out there that are going to look at it the wrong way. But cosplays for everyone: age, shape, size, skin tone, ethnicity. One of my favorite cosplay friends on TikTok has a physical disability, and he is so strong, and he cosplays all the time, and he's so inspiring to see. Cosplay is this big thing. It's a big thing to be part of, because as yourself, at least for me, being myself, sometimes it's hard to be out there and be social and be with people. But when I cosplay, I'm able to open up as a person, because they don't necessarily see me. They see what I want them to see. And cosplay is such a good way to express yourself. And some people don't understand that. Cosplay is like anything else. It's a hobby and a passion. It doesn't matter how much you put into it. It doesn't matter how little you put into it. What matters is that you are there and you're having fun.
Yeah, I told my father, I showed my mom this hat because she helped me get the designs of it a little bit, and she had extra felt, and I was like, great, sure, perfect. My dad just gives me this look. He doesn't understand why, and I think in the back, and I think in the back of his head is why you dressed up like an A? You need to dress more proper and shit. And I'm like, the purpose of cosplay is just you look like an idiot, but you're having a good time looking like an idiot, and that's
We're
the
nerds.
difference.
Some of
Basically,
my
we're nerds, and I
some of
love
my
the fact
favorite
that
moments.
yeah, I love the fact that when I started cosplay, it was back in 2020, right before the pandemic, because I was like, okay, why not try this? Everything in my closet was a cosplay. Even before I started prosthetics, I was using toilet paper, like glue sticks, all of that. And trust me, that was a pain to get off at first. And then I started working with it too. And then I found contacts and I finally got fangs. Over time, I've built up the motivation. I've built up the like skills. And as a theater student in college, I learned how to sew, which made it a lot more easier for me. And the fact that a lot of people in the community, especially here in Oregon, they do cosplay, but I very, very rarely will see them. But a lot of the cosplayers who are here in Oregon, I never really got to meet, unfortunately, for the Oregon Ren Fair. That was this past weekend. I'm just like, ugh. But the fact that I get to dress up and just go out in public and not give a crap about what everyone thinks is like my thing. I don't care what other people look at me. If they like it, great. If they don't like it, that's their problem.
Yeah, some of my favorite moments have come in cosplay. I mean, I'm the oldest cosplayer here, I believe. John, what you maybe have, me and you've been what the same time
I was
amount of
about to
time,
say I'm
more or
only
less,
like
right?
a couple of years behind you.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying age wise. I mean, yeah, I'm 28. I'm the oldest one in this chat, but like I've been cosplaying since like 2014. 2012. If I really want to go back and talk about my closet cosplays, you know, but I've been cosplaying for over 10 years at this point in time, and I've only, I'm still building my craft, but some of my favorite experiences have been in cosplay. I remember there was one con. I'm one of the very few people that will dress up as Jay Garrick here in the Dallas area. There's one other guy, and walking around as Jay Garrick at this con, and this lady stops me. She couldn't have been, maybe a couple years older than my mom. Okay, and she's telling me that like she wants to get a picture with me because her mother is a very big Flash fan of Jay Garrick from the comic. That puts her mother roughly around the same age as my grandmother, which would put her mother reading the Jay Garrick comics as they were coming out in the 40s and 50s when Jay Garrick was the only Flash before Barry Allen was a thing. And it was just like that moment was so cool for me just because of the fact that I made someone's mother smile and I made her smile because I was dressed up as Jay Garrick. One of my other favorite things, my local mall allows people to come in costume as long as there's no mask. Allows people to come in costume. A few years ago, right after COVID, the restrictions lifted and people could start going back about their lives. I dressed up as Superman and walked around the mall. And I couldn't tell you how many times I was stopped to take pictures. People saying, thank you. People saying, wow, there is still hope for us. The emotions that you could get from people by cosplaying are some of the coolest things. One of the things I do with my cosplays is I run my own business where I go out to birthday parties and events and anything anybody hires a guy in a costume for. And I've got some fun stories about that I'll get into in a second.
So I got some fun stories too.
It's about, for me, it's about making others smile. It's not just about me. Like, don't get me wrong. I love cosplay. I love to do it. I love to dress up because I'm having fun doing it too. Because I'll get into character real quick. And I love getting into character. I'm a character actor. I'm a voice actor, so I get to use my voices that I do. For my Superman voice, this is it right here. I'm Superman, the leader of Metropolis, the go-to guy, the guy that'll be there quicker than the Flash if he's having a slow day. I get to do those voices, and it brings joy to people's faces, especially the kids. One of my favorite stories that I have doing my business is I had a guy who he is mentally less developed. He's in his 40s, has the mind of a teenager. Deadpool 2 was coming out, and he was like, "Hey, I know you're getting a Deadpool suit. Could I hire you to be Deadpool, hang out with me all day?" I said, "Hell yeah."
Aw.
I was already good for I was gonna hang out with him as Deadpool for free, but he insisted on paying for me. So he paid for 2 hours, and I just walked around town with him dressed as Deadpool, making jokes about anything and everything I could. Looking at I just kept looking off and talking to the camera, talking to the people, breaking the fourth wall as Deadpool, which he thought was hysterical. And because of that, his uncle owned the theater in the town that I was living at the time. And so he's like, hey, we're actually about to have Deadpool 2 in our theater. You made my nephew really happy. Would you be willing to put on the Deadpool suit for the opening for Deadpool 2? I'll pay you. You get to go and you'll get to see the first screening, but you have to sit in the very back. I said, absolutely. I'm so for this. I pulled out the stops. I found a magazine, cut out Hugh Jackman's face in this magazine, taped it to my forehead. Okay. And then I put on the Deadpool mask underneath. I had this one couple come in, and he stops to tie his fucking shoe, and she's still holding her hand out for him. And he hits me on the arm because I'm passing by. He goes, points to her hand. So I grab her hand, and I'm just skipping behind her, just doing this, and they get halfway down to wherever the movie they're supposed to be at. She turns around, she goes, "You're not my boyfriend." I was like, "No, but I'm so much better." I had a couple other girls like, "Oh, what do you look like under there?" And they pulled up the fucking mask, and sure as shit, there's the fucking, Hugh Jackman picture, which is like, "Oh, you really went for it." I was like, "Oh, sweetheart, you have no idea how far I'll go for it."
I've had people try to flirt with me in cosplay, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Do I want to do it in character, or do I want to just sugarcoat and do both? Depends on.
Doing a character, it's always fun.
So
My favorite moment.
I can never do it. I can never do it in this though. I can never do it in like my cosplays for some reason. It's just either specifically one of my cosplays I have is an original character named Chris Morningstar, who's the son of Lucifer. I did it because of the Lucifer TV show before seasons 5 and 6 came out, and then I made a character right after that, or a little bit later, right after that, named Umel, who's a demon. But I finally have Umel to where he had a harness on. And I've gotten so many people like, what's the energy you're giving for Umel? I'm like, honestly, Switch. I don't know. I'm saying he's a Switch.
Okay.
Yeah. My favorite moment though was I get to the movie, and the movie starts ending, and if you've ever seen a Marvel movie, there's those people that start walking out as soon as the credits roll.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
And I'm one of those people like, have you ever watched a Marvel movie? Do y'all not know there's an after credits scene?
Duh.
Somebody should say something. And I'm doing the hand motions to myself, just talking to myself, and then I realize, oh, I'm that somebody. So I stand up and I get way into character. I go, no. Y'all sit right back down. My movie's not over yet. And if you don't know that there are after credit scenes of every Marvel movie, you've got about 13 years of homework you need to go home and do right now. But first, sit down and watch the end of the movie. Everybody
people that actually do that, though?
Oh yeah. And everybody in the theater turns to look at me and go, "Oh crap, Deadpool's here! Oh my god, yeah, I'm here. Sit down." It was great. I had people at the end of the movie walking up to me and going, "Thank you for making me watch the after credit scene." I was like, "You're welcome." Now go home and watch the rest of them.
I think my favorite moment at a con was I was walking up to meet Peter Fasinelli, the actor Carlisle Cullen from Twilight. Well, I was dressed up as my gender bent Daryl. I walk up, my character's like beat up because she'd ran into the Saviors. Well, I go walk up, he puts his hand up, he stops me and he goes, "You need a doctor. I know a doctor." Also, earlier that day, I had like jammed my middle finger. I don't know. But that man made me smile. Like, I asked him what was it like to audition for Twilight, which he said it was fun. He almost didn't get the role, but due to later research, was Henry Cavill almost got it, but due to conflicting scheduling with Superman, yeah, we got Peter Fasinelli. But that man's handshake is an actual handshake. Like, he'll pull you in, but he doesn't overly squeeze a handshake. And yeah,
I have three favorite moments from cosplaying. My first, I'm gonna go in chronological order. My first one was my first convention I ever cosplayed at. It was my first fully canon cosplay I ever did. I cosplayed Itachi Uchiha, and I was going to get my little kunai checked by security, stating I'm good to have it on the floor. As I walk in about 3 feet, I start hearing this loud clapping, and I turn around. I look at these people sitting in these sitting in these little chairs, and are cheering for me. They're literally like screaming, "Mommy and Itachi, back from the dead! Yeah!" And that was my first time as a cosplayer ever at a convention cosplaying. And I just was like, and then he walked up to me and was like, "Can I get a picture with you? You look fucking awesome." I was like, "Absolutely." I almost ran late to my photo shoot, but I do not regret it at all. I made the photo shoot. I had fun. It was great to talk to this man, who I actually ran into a couple years later at a different convention. But my second favorite story, I was cosplaying Tamaki Amajiki from My Hero Academia. I was at GalaxyCon last year. First time ever being at GalaxyCon. And so this was my first GalaxyCon photo shoot I ever did. And so I'm waiting for the meetup, and this mother and child who are cosplaying Izuku and Izuku's mom. I see the kid kind of like look at me and then quickly look away a bunch of times. And I look over and I'm just like, "What's going on? Is the kid okay?" And the mom walks over to me and goes, "He really loves your outfit and he's wondering if he can get a photo with you. He's just really shy." And I was like, "Absolutely." So what did I do? I went, "Okay, full character mode. Let's do this." And so I went into Tamaki Amajiki and went, absolutely. I'm not that good at it, but yeah. And so then we get over there and I'm like, "So how do you want to pose?" Acting all nervous. And the kid just started giggling, laughing up a storm. He's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "You want to be scared with me?" And then we just started posing and we took probably a 15-minute little photos together. And then afterwards he ran over and high-fived me and his mom thanked me. And then my other favorite one, I got to meet two voice actors. I did it out of order. I got to meet two voice actors last year at MatsuriCon. I got to meet the voice actor of Sir Night-Eye and the voice actor of Mirio, aka Mamillion. And they are such amazing people. I was cosplaying Tamaki Amajiki. He's one of my favorite cosplays to do, so I cosplay him a lot. But I was cosplaying Tamaki Amajiki, and I was talking to Sir Night-Eye's voice actor about Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. He actually I had him sign my Goetia notebook. If I have it in reach, I don't. But I had him sign that, and then he started talking about the Goetian language because my boyfriend wrote in the Goetian language a love note to me. So we started talking about that, and he asked if he could read it, and I told him yes. So then he sat here and read the love note to me. He read my boyfriend's love note to me, and then told me it was really cute, and then wrote a note back to me in that language.
The fact that you get to learn language that's completely fantasy and actually learn to understand it is just that.
No, so actually, I found out the Goetian language is actually based off of a true language. It's a hard version of the language, but it is a language. And he was telling me about how this language, him and his friends in high school used to write secret notes to each other and pass it back and forth. And so he told me when I found out what the thing said, I needed to come find him again. So I'm going back this year to tell him he misspelled it.
Bruh.
But also, I got him into wanting to watch Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. He got so excited when we were talking about this, and he was like, "I have to watch those shows now."
Yeah, some of the shows I try to watch and binge and stuff like that. It's like Bridgerton, Blood of Zeus, and I know through all that, it's just like I'm trying to get more into anime, but it's just very, very rare. Like I recently did K-pop Demon Hunters Genu.
Oh my god, it's so good.
because I'm just like, meh, why not? Easy cosplay, help save up for Katsu. And apparently a lot of people liked it. So I'm just like, I'm just wearing a black t-shirt. I'm not wearing black pants. I'm like wearing shorts. I'm not, and it's just
It looks
purple paint.
awesome.
It's just purple
Yes,
paint. I don't even have the contacts.
as we all are cosplayers on a screen where the screen barely shows anything below the belt, who's actually wearing their full cosplay right now? Put your hand up. Fuck all y'all. Fuck all
Actually,
y'all. Y'all know damn well y'all shouldn't be.
I
Okay,
have to
my
put my hand
dad's
down because I
boyfriend's here,
took
so
my
I
shoes
can't
off.
just show
Chris,
him
you already
shirt
know
and
I'm not.
shorts.
No, you're not. John,
I have
okay,
to put my
your
hand
favorite moment
down.
of cosplay.
Oh,
I have to put my hand
I
down
probably
because I'm
told
not wearing my
Chris this
shoes.
story probably about 100. He's probably heard it about 100 times by now. It was last year at.
It's still a great story.
It's still a great story. It was last year at FanX. I went to go get Jonathan Frakes' signature, Commander Riker from Star Trek. I was not in my Star Trek cosplay that day. This was day 2. I think I was still in my ODST armor. But I wanted to go get his autograph before before my photo shoot with him the next day. So I'm standing in line and I pay the person for the thing. And then I walk over to him and he does he gives me the once over. And he's like, "Oh my god, did you build this?" He's like, "This looks amazing. This looks fantastic." And I'm just standing there like, don't make me cry because I have adored this man since birth, as I've told pretty much everybody a lot. Um, but yeah, he was like, "Oh my god, that looks amazing," and then the awesome thing was I go in the next day for the photo shoot with Jonathan Frakes, Will Wheaton, and LeVar Burton. So Jordy, Wesley, and Riker. And I go in for the photo shoot, and Jonathan Frakes sees me. He's like, "Oh my god, it's so good to see you again." And I'm like, "Holy shit, he recognizes me!" Yeah, it was a fantastic moment. Yeah.
Oh,
The funniest thing for me
As a cosplayer that's been going to conventions for over 10 years, I would like to let you guys know, for all the newbies in here, for all the old timers in here that don't know this, when we meet actors, especially when we meet them cosplaying their character, they love it about as much as we do. They do. It's
oh
great.
yeah,
We have
sure.
me and John have shared plenty of stories like that on our podcast, Two Captains, and it's, you know, they love it about as much as we do, if not sometimes more. One of my favorite moments of that was John Wesley's ship, meeting him as Jay Garrick, and he saw the style of boots that I had on, and he goes, are those your boots? Man, those boots look nicer than the ones I had on set. If I had those boots, I'd trade you. And I looked at him dead in the eyes and I go, if you had those boots, I'd let it happen.
My favorite one was Mammalian's voice actor. I'm terrible with names, but Mario's voice actor. When I met him last year as Tamaki Yamajiki, he actually looked at me and went, "Hey, it's one of the big," like he's instantly into Mario voice, but "Hey, it's one of the big 3. Good to see you, friend." I was like, I just stopped because I just stared at him. I'm like, I'm going to cry. And then he he saw the years and went, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." I'm like, because I didn't realize he was going to be there because I have a mammalian cosplay in progress, and I'm like, I almost brought it, and I'm just like, and then he just gave me a high five. I was like, "Come on, let's get a hug," and I'm like, "Okay." And then he was, I told him, I was like, "I'm actually, if I would have known you were coming, I would have cosplayed Mammalian. I've been working on finding a wig for him." And he just looked at me got a kid in a candy store. I was like, "Really?" He's like, "You should see me." I'm like, and then I was talking about how I plan on cosplaying all of the big 3, and he just lit up ecstatic and went, "I'm gonna have to tell him about this," and I'm like, I'm gonna die, in the most positive way ever. And then I met Cherry Bomb's voice actor as Cherry Bomb, and she was really really busy, but she was really, when I walked up to her and I was like, "I actually made this cosplay to get to meet you," she just looked really really happy and was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing."
I think my all-time favorite actor I met was Matthew Lillard. Well, I go up. I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" You know, the casual how you start a conversation. Well, after I got my photo op done, I start walking away. I stop mid-step. I turn on my heel. I look at him. Just so you know, what happens in the cave stays in the cave. If you've watched Without a Paddle, this man started cracking up. I'm like, I made him laugh, and his laugh is so fucking contagious, and I heard an adult in line go, "Yes!" Because they had heard me loud and clear. Just, yes! Because it wasn't, "Hi, how are you?" It wasn't just so casual, but it wasn't also more like Shaggy or from Scream. Oh, as well known movies, it's Without a Paddle, one of his like first works.
Mm-hmm.
My other favorite one was actually accidental. I was in line to meet Hawks, Hawks' voice actor, because Hawks. So for those of you who don't know, Hawks has been a big deal for me since I got into My Hero in like 2017, I think. Hawks was the first character I was ever introduced to. The whole reason I got into My Hero Academia was because I saw a clip from Hawks' first entrance, and I was like, "Ooh, pretty boy!" and instantly wanted to watch it because of this character. So, when I saw he was going to be there, like, this is one of my biggest comfort characters. It was so amazing, and I was like, I have to get his autograph. I have to get his autograph. He was like my top of the goal. When the doors opened, I booked it to his line. I'm not kidding. I ran. But I got there, and I was like the second person in line. And I'm talking to the person who was trying to figure out what to get signed up. And she's like, "Can you help me?" And I was helping her. I was like, "Yeah, I'm so excited because like, not only has Hawks been a big support character in my life, my boyfriend can do the voice, and so he just likes to pick on me with it. And what I didn't notice was his voice actor walk out from behind the curtain and listen into this conversation. Go, "Oh, that's cool." And I'm just like, I just turn around to see this man, and I'm like, he's like, "Is your boyfriend with you?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "You want to call him?"
I've got a similar story to that one. My first time ever going to
like, call me, and he's like, hold on, let me talk to him. I was like, I just hung up. I was like, he's like, "Damn."
Yeah, this is my first time ever at Fan Expo Dallas. I'd never been to that con before, so I wasn't prepared to meet anybody. Didn't save up for it. I saved up enough for a one-day ticket to go find out, kind of gauge the con and see what what they had and stuff like that. Well, I dressed up as Joker for the day and got in with a bunch of other Joker cosplayers. We're standing in a circle now. About 5 feet behind us, and I didn't know this, my back was to it, was Mark Hamill's table. And about 10 feet past us was the bathroom. Now, we're all sharing our, stories, talking about our favorite Jokers and stuff like that, doing impressions. And somebody else had already done the Heath Ledger Joker voice, which is another good one that I do. So I had to switch. I said, well, I can do Mark Hamill's voice really well. Mark Hamill's Joker very well. And I go, well, Batman, it seems we're at another impasse, doesn't it? Oh, how are we going to get out of this one today, Batsy? And
I love that.
somebody stands right here. This was before I'm a first responder, okay? So I didn't have that intuition yet to know someone was standing right there. But all I know is I hear, oh, well, kid, damn, I thought that was me for a second. I turn and there's Mark Hamill standing right there. I drop to the fucking floor going, oh dear God. He laughs and says, excuse me, Jokers, if you don't mind, I'll be heading to the bathroom. So if you wouldn't mind, just lightly scoot out of the way or I'll blow you up.
But no, so he was still setting up, and he stopped for a moment. I was like, I looked at him like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you were there." He's like, "Oh, that's so cute, so sweet." I was like, and he was like, "So Hawks is your like comfort character?" I'm like, "Yeah, he really is." And then I explained to him about how Hawks was how I got introduced to My Hero Academia. I literally made this man almost start crying. Like, he was like so happy and upbeat, and I literally see him smile so big, and he was like, and he told me like how much he loved it. Me and Monica Royale, When I met Monica Royale for the second time, because I met her earlier on, like, and she gave me a free autograph. Well, I waited in her line to get another autograph from her, but I was cosplaying an OC from one of my books I wrote. Flare, she's a fire elf, and in their world there is no killing. If you kill or get accused of murder, you get banished from your world into the human world or whatever world the portal opens to. It's not you don't get a choice. But 9 times out of 10, it's a place without magic. So Flare goes on a whole conquest to avenge her brother's actual killer, her boyfriend, her fiance, because Flare's a princess, the fire princess, and she was dating the water prince. So Flare got accused of murdering her brother, and then got kicked out of the kingdom. So she's on a revenge, trying to get back at her brother's killer. And I'm explaining, and Monica Royale looked at me when I got up to her line and went, "You were so cute. Who are you cosplaying?" And I tell her it's my OC Flare and tell her the story behind the character. And she looked me dead in my eyes and went, "It's people like you that make me love my job and what I do. Where's it on? I'm gonna read your book." So Monica Royale went on Wattpad and read my novel.
Does it sounding really familiar? Like I may have read it.
I doubt it. I didn't post. I only posted one chapter and took it down like 2 months later.
Yeah,
I don't know.
one of my
Not really
friends of
familiar.
mine. I think she's an old friend of mine, but still
What?
she made a book called The Snake and the Rose and the Forbidden Truth. She has more she's gonna make, but it's basically around this character named Abby, and she gets a quote protector demon. Basically, this whole adventure goes along basically this entire detail. I'm not gonna explain, but it is somewhat musty, or and it does have notices of essay and stuff like that, but she made it very clear. There's one chapter I will not read that I only read the synopsis for, and it made me physically want to throw up. That is how good her writing is. It's on Wattpad, and it's also on YouTube. She does YouTube audiobooks, and for me, I'm an audiobook person, so when I hear it, I'm just like, oh. Yeah, it's called Abby Mattis or Abby Matthias.
When we get off of this, just send me the link,
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
please. Because I'm bad with remembering names.
It's a good ass series right now, and I'm gonna cry if it doesn't make any more.
But another memory I have on going to cons. This ain't from me. This is actually my brother. He loves the voice actor of Alistair. Well, I'm the voice actor of Charlie. I hit his shoulder. I'm like, hey, there's Alistair's voice actor. And Dawson's looking at me like, can I go? I'm like, go. I walk up. Dawson's spilling his guts about how he loves Alistair is. Like how Alistair's like the smiling demon, but everyone knows Alistair's not happy. He's scheming. Well, he does the voice for my brother because he's like, my brother asked him, will you please like say like you'll be my friend, like because I think my mom filmed it. It's somewhere, but he's like, could you say in Alice's voice, you would like to be my friend and make a deal? My brother had the biggest grin. He made the deal. It's somewhere. I don't know where.
I was gonna be like, now what's the price?
I would take the deal anyway.
It's like if you had to make a deal. Here's a question: if you had to make a deal with Alistair, what is the price you're willing to pay?
Okay, so so for my deal, I would be willing to give my soul because of how I would word the deal, where there'd be very little manipulation.
Valid.
So I'd be like, yeah, you can have my soul within the hotel.
I see it.
Like how Valentino has the contract with Angel Dust.
And say, yeah, you can have my soul. You'll be completely in control when I'm in your radio tower.
Yeah. Keep it to the specifics.
The radio tower. But the deal I would make would be to gain power, strength, knowledge about everything, share everything, every knowledge he's ever had about Earth and everything, between Earth, hell, all of it, and then be able to use that to gain ranks and earn and make deals and earn souls, become an overlord, and then be high enough where I can pull the strings, find out who has his soul, pull strings and make a deal with them, buy his soul off of said person, and now we're in a canonical loop of I own him more than he owns me.
Why does that somehow work? That somehow works legit.
That works way
Honestly,
too well. That's way too well thought out.
That's way too specific. But honestly, for me, it's like if this is like in real life, I would ask him, I will give you my soul if you can put the purge on. And I say this for a reason. If the purge were to happen, I'm robbing a bank, taking $1 million, coming back here, sending you throughout the rest. That way, I will have $1 million in my account and start paying off the bills, keeping savings, and start paying off the bills. The smartest way to do it.
I've got something that goes along with that. All right, we all have that one cosplay we want to do, but it's way too goddamn much money. So, okay, money, no object. What's that cosplay for you? Money, no object. You only get one cosplay, but money's not an object. What are you buying?
Money's not one cosplay and money's not an object. Ooh.
I'll tell y'all mine.
That is,
I'll
I
tell y'all
want to
mine.
do one of the Predators. I want to do one of the Predators from Predator.
I got it.
The John Wesley Shipp 1990s Flash show, the suit, the full fucking suit. I want that one.
That's fucking cool. Like I want
an oldie for you. It'd be between two. It'd be whichever, because one was more realistic I can make than the other. It would have to be.
Hold on. You say oldie, and I swear to God, if you hurt me, because you said oldie, I will find a way to mute you on this Discord.
The oldie is Inuyasha. With his cannon sword that shrinks and grows to my will once I gain full power of it. I would want his ability or Shishomaru, his brother, and be able to transform into a fucking demon dog.
That's what she said with the sword.
I think mine's a little bit more conventional.
The other one I was thinking of was a hawks with full wings that I could actually bend and control.
Oh, that'd be
you only
awesome.
get one though.
No, I'm saying it'd be between those three.
Oh.
I would want the Predator from
Flash is
Prey.
frozen. Flash is frozen.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh God.
How bad did I hurt your heart by calling Inuyasha an oldie?
Such a dick.
But I would say this honestly. If
It's
I'm working on the body, I'm currently going to the gym to work on the body to do it. But if I had a body painter to do my body, I will do Seraphim from Blood of Zeus in his demon form because my
do your body, huh?
What?
To do your body, huh?
No, shut up. No.
All right, John. What's your one
If
cosplay?
money were no object, my cosplay would be the Batman Beyond armor from Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I think I'm gonna have to go to Inuyasha. Out of the three, I think I would choose Inuyasha over anyone else.
Honestly, if I had the costume, I would take Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face costume.
Ooh.
I'm actually working on doing. I'm planning. I can't say I'm working. I'm planning and figuring out how I want to do it. But I am going to cosplay Kilala from Inuyasha because the boy doesn't get enough love. He's one of my favorite characters. And I'm also going to cosplay Ranga from that time I got reincarnated as a slime, the little wolf.
Like I do, like I do Two-Face already. It's just the costume I had to literally pull and literally actually put on fire to one side of it to make it work. And I'm just like, okay, we're gonna have to replace this one day or another, especially the paints. But honestly, I would love that. I would love it.
The second cosplay I would have, if money was not an option, but if I had to pick between the feral predator from Prey, I would do the Batman from The Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah, honestly, but
All right.
I'd take George Clooney. I'd take George Clooney's Batman suit and take the nipples off.
Okay. You had me worried there
and
for a
I'll tell
second.
you why. I'll tell you why. Because if it didn't have the fucking nipples on it, that is one of the best looking bat suits ever, and you can't tell me otherwise. The silver against the black is one of the coolest paint schemes Batman's ever fucking had. But goddamn, the fucking you went that way, Robin. Fucking take away from it, and it just pisses me off.
Okay. Here's one for you. If you could have, from any anime or show, if you could have anyone's supernatural ability, superpower, quirk, whatever they call it in the show, and it not affect the show, like you would be in the show canonically, but you wouldn't apply to the rules. So like, if only one person
Budget
has that ability, it doesn't, like devil fruits, for example. Let's say you want the firefighter fruit. Firefighter no me. You can have it, and someone else in the actual show can have it. You don't fall under the rules.
Super
What would
speed,
you have?
splash. Super speed, splash. Splash's powers.
be the devil, Lucifer.
Okay.
Oh,
John?
hello,
I want Buffy goes
detective.
explosions.
Ooh. Captain America's abilities.
You're such a fuck. God damn it, John. I love
Buffy
you,
goes
but
explosions,
you're
just
so
like we blow
fucking
someone's ass
basic.
up.
Yes.
There's a
Yes, I
laboratory
am. I am a basic white bitch, and that's how it works.
I'm already more of a basic white bitch than if you think
It's
that's
a
basic.
laboratory experiment that everything came out of a bottle.
That's me.
That's all he is.
I would take a copy of Hox's quirk, Fierce Wings, because it wouldn't canonically affect the show, and I would be able to fly. And I'm weird, and I've always wanted to fly. Don't know why, just a thing. I'm also
That's
so if I'm done with people, I can just fly into
Yeah,
the
I'll be
sky
right
and tell everyone fuck off.
Hold on. So, if we have the person's quirk, are we related to them in any way, shape, or form?
No, not necessarily. Again,
Yeah.
you don't affect the show, so unless you take the place of someone's sibling, no.
If I had my
No,
pillow
I'm not saying
here,
that. That's wrong. That's wrong.
if
No, that's wrong.
if I had my Lucifer pillow, it would say "Hot Hell" on it with his face on it, which I do have, but it's just packed away right now.
I can see this.
I have that pillow. I'll be like, this man right here, me now. Like no joke.
Yes.
Because
Where did these two go?
I have no idea. But those, like, he goes
Are
through
we
his
still
own
flying?
existential crisis. He goes through his own crisis, his own like self-loving, and that's what I needed like a lot in the last few years. Was like my self-love of myself. Like I have a devil wing on my damn shoulder as a tattoo right now.
Nice.
I'm trying to get an angel one on my right, but
We are almost at an hour. We're a little over an hour.
Wow. Already?
I'm an hour and 9.
Didn't know you had a timer down there. Good to know. Oh, nice.
Yeah, typically me and John run ours about 3 hours long per episode.
Well, we agreed about anywhere between an hour to 2 hours where we were going to cut it. I think is what we said.
Yeah, hour and a half. I don't remember.
Well, if
Somewhere
we're going
between
to
an hour
start
and
getting
2
to the
hours.
winding down process, I'd like to add something here. It's something I add at the end of every Two Captains One Pod episode. It's something very important to me, and it's something very important for every community to discuss, talk about. It needs to be talked about more. Mental health is a very serious thing. You have to
Absolutely.
take it seriously. And with cosplay comes distress upon your mental health.
Oh yeah.
We said we were going to talk about the great things about cosplay. We're also going to talk about the bad things of cosplay. And this is one of those. Sometimes, as a bigger cosplayer myself, I don't always look like the character that I'm trying to portray because I'm bigger. So I've gotten a lot of, shitty comments over the years. And some have hit home. Others haven't. Others I can brush off like that and it's fine. It's whatever, You go home and sleep in your loveless bed. I'll sleep next to my wife and 2 kids. Fuck you. But, there are some that hit. And when you get into those moments where something hits you and it's just a hard moment for you, there's a number you can dial. And that number is 988. It's changed. Logic wrote a song named one of his songs after the number, wrote a song about mental health and distress and tendencies. And that number is no longer around. It's now 988 is the new number. I have called this number several times myself over the years. They're here to help you. They're here to talk you through it. And there's no consequence to it. You can pretty much tell them whatever you need. It's kind of like a free therapy session. You're not going to get billed for it. It is just someone on the other end of the line willing to listen and help. So if you ever find yourself needing someone and you can't get a hold of anybody here, call that number. But if you want to try to talk to somebody that you know, hi, my name's Chris. I go by the guy that cosplays on Instagram and TikTok. Find me. DM me, reach out to me. I'll answer you, and I'll sit on that phone as long as I need to, because you're important. You as a person are important. You're needed. You're useful, and there are people that love you. And if you can sit there and say, "No, there's not," you're wrong. You're lying to yourself. Because hi, I know you, and I love you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things with mental health with like I use cosplay as an
We
escape.
had to wrap it up. Yeah, I was letting us.
No, I know. But it's
Yeah,
one of the things. Like I
honestly,
said, it's something I like to talk about. It's something I want to put out there because it's something we need to talk about.
Yeah,
Everybody needs to talk about it.
I'm gonna shoot my friend a text after we're done with this and ask for her permission to talk about something she runs. I'm not going to name it because I'm sure she's fine with it, but I want to be respectful with this being alive and all of that, and it's something she's part of. But I'll get hold of her, and if so, I'll let all of you know in the general chat about it. And the next live, we'll add that on to the what you just said, Chris.
yeah.
'Cause it is something
I will say this. Like cosplay for me has been an escape for now gonna almost be 6 years because I wanted to get away from what I actually look like. And as someone who was severely overweight and did not like their body, and I still don't right now, and I'm working on it, like the fact that everyone used to fat shame me a lot on TikTok back in like 21 and 22 because of the way I looked and everything like that. And that really brought him down. But the one thing I learned was that to not care about what other people think, and the fact of like you can say no, and the fact that you can be yourself. I never understood what those meant. I'm usually a yes man. I'm a pleaser. I'm thinking of everyone what they want me to do. But then these last couple of years, I'm like, I'm now going with what I want to do. I'm saying no. But ultimately, right now, since I live with my parents who are enabled, who cannot do stuff on their own right now, I'm kind of having to be the caregiver here, and it's been hard doing that with life and everything. I get it, but this is what helps me get out of my comfort zone and to like get away from all the troubles of the world, and I get to dive into my own stupidity.
Oh, I can absolutely agree with that.
Hold on. I'll rephrase it. My lovable stupidity.
For me, I don't know how in depth we can get into this type of stuff, and I'm about to talk about parental loss. So I don't know if that's gonna get us flagged or not.
Again, listen to our podcast, mine and John's
Yeah,
podcast.
you're pretty safe
There's
when it
not a
comes to
lot to get
YouTube.
us
Like
flagged
they
on
do not
YouTube.
care. They do not
Okay.
care.
Oh.
We have said some
For
pretty
me,
yeah.
cosplay started back in 2014 is when 2015 is when I started experimenting with cosplay. I cosplayed Tiki Toby and a bunch of stuff like that. I didn't really get into cosplay until 2020, but 2017 was really rough for me. It was the year I lost my mother, and I fell hard. I felt my mother was my everything. For the 3 years prior to it, I saw her wither and decay in front of me. I personally I wasn't processing it yet, and when I did, I escaped to cosplay. Rather than processing it, I had used cosplay as an escape because I couldn't handle it yet. I wasn't mentally ready to realize the fact that my mother was dying in front of my eyes. I gave up my childhood to be a caregiver for her. And I'll tell you right now, cosplay back then was such a strong outlet for me, and it's probably the reason why I'm here. I struggled with a lot of stuff. I struggled with bullying, and I had no body confidence, no confidence in myself, but I cosplayed, and it got me through my ups and downs, and I'm here now to this day. 2017, 2 days after my birthday, my mother passed, and it still hits. But I found my outlet for cosplay gives me an escape to do what I need to do. Sometimes really hard days are harder than others, and they hit really hard. So if people have issues and they feel like they need an escape, everyone is different. But for me, cosplay is that outlet. It gives me a reason to be the goofball I am, and I've been helping people through my cosplays. I have people that have messaged me and told me that I bring smiles to their faces by dressing up as these characters and just dancing and filming little silly TikTok. And with that, I want to say to anyone watching this that's been part of it, or been there for me throughout my years on TikTok and Musically, I want to thank you all. You have been big parts in keeping me going.
Been a victim of bullying. I've
That's
been a
good.
victim through.
Go ahead, put it.
Oh, you guys. After you.
I'll fuck you. I'll fuck you.
Fight me.
I will. Fucking tell me where.
He'll do it.
Oh, then fine, I'll go. Well, I've been a victim of bullying for God knows how long. Hell, school in general. Well, I've always been on the small side with weight. I've been fat shamed. I've been told I'm fat compared, and I'm like, looking at myself, I'm like, okay. And over the years, I've tried not to think about it, but it's like, as I, like right now, cosplay, I'm like, yeah, this helps a lot. But like, also, it doesn't help the fact that people, no matter how you look, you could be drop dead gorgeous. People will put these unreasonable standards on you, like really tiny hourglass figure, or for guys, big muscles, really fit. That's what people put unreasonable standards on people, which is ridiculous. Well, in high school, it's like that.
I think we should end it here with this message. You know,
All right.
cosplay is a community. It is 100% where you can find like-minded people. You know, throughout the years, you can ask a lot of the older cosplayers, hell, older than me. Cosplay wasn't always socially acceptable. And because of the current shifts in the way that life is going now and social media and stuff like that, cosplay's become a really big thing that's more socially acceptable now. So go out there, fly your little cosplay flag, find your community, and find that love, that connection, and feeling you think you may be missing. Hell, even if you know you're missing it, go find it, because you're going to find a community of people that absolutely love you for who you are, no matter what. I can say for every single person you're going to see on this podcast, whether they're here now or they're going to be here on later episodes, down the line, whatever it is, I can honestly say I would not be as happy as I am, as content with my life as I am, without these people that you're seeing here on the screen now, or that you've been listening to, if you're over on Spotify, that you've been listening to this whole time. Every single one of these people means so very much to me. They are my family. So go find yours, have a great time cosplaying, make those memories, and remember to smile for yourself too.
Don't make me cry now.
Guys, cosplay signing off.
Yeah,
One last
cosplay
thing
Confederation.
before we go. I want y'all out there, whoever's watching this. Now you matter in every way. No matter what you're going through, how tough your life is. Us at the Cosplay Confederation will always be here for anyone who needs us. And with that, we're signing out.
And as someone who's in the community who constantly thinks of people, you do you no matter how you do it. And also as a cat dad, you're drop dead gorgeous.
This has been the Cosplay Confederation, the only confederacy accepted by history. I told you I was going to come up with a really great slogan.
Uh-huh.
I did
That
not
is an
expect
amazing
it.
slogan. I love it. I
Please
love it.
tell me you ended it before we all cracked up.
Oh no,
Oh,
we're still
please.
going. And we are out in 3, 2,